Not every place in the world wants to be found. Some are hidden, not by walls or borders, but by time, silence, and the choice to remain unseen. Deep within the arms of the earth, surrounded by mist and memory, there lies a village untouched by everything we call modern. No signs, no airports, no loud footsteps of tourists, just the wind whispering through the trees and the quiet heartbeat of a life that never needed noise to feel full. The people here don't speak much. They don't need to. Because beauty lives in the air, in the smell of wood smoke, in the sound of distant bells, and in the way the sun kisses the valley every evening before disappearing. This isn't just a village. It's a living memory, a hidden poem written by the earth itself. And today, just for a moment, you get to see it. Welcome to the most beautiful village in the world, a place no tourist has touched, and maybe that's why it's still perfect. Reine, Norway. Our journey begins in the Arctic Circle, in a small village where the mountains rise like giants, and the sea reflects skies you can't believe are real. This is Reine, a tiny fishing village tucked away in the Lofoten Islands of Norway. Population? Just around 300. Tourists? Almost none. The moment you arrive, it doesn't feel like Earth anymore. Red wooden cabins cling to the shoreline like brushstrokes on a frozen painting. The air smells like salt and pine, and time here moves slower. There are no noisy cafes, no big signs telling you what to do, just narrow winding roads, ancient boats rocking gently in the harbour, and snow-capped peaks watching silently over everything. In winter, rain disappears under a white blanket, where northern lights dance across the sky like spirits celebrating in silence. In summer, it glows 24/7 under the midnight sun, bathing the village in gold, as if nature itself refuses to let darkness in. The people of Reine live close to the earth, fishing, hiking, sharing stories in quiet wooden homes warmed by fire and history. And what makes it even more magical? There are no loud crowds, no lines of buses, no one shouting for selfies. Reine is not just a place, it's a pause in time, a reminder that silence can be beautiful and that the world still holds places untouched, if you're willing to look. Giethoorn, Netherlands. If peace had an address, it would probably be Giethoorn. Tucked deep inside the Dutch countryside, this village is called the Venice of the North. But here, there are no cars, no honking, no streets full of people in a rush. In Giethoorn, you float. Small wooden boats glide through narrow canals. Thatched roof cottages sit quietly by the water, covered in vines and framed by ancient willow trees. You won't find big hotels or glowing signs here. Locals ride bicycles. Children wave from tiny bridges. And the loudest sound you'll hear is a duck splashing in the still water. The whole village feels like it was designed for slowness, as if time was asked to move gently here. Everything looks hand-painted, from the gardens blooming with colour to the reflections of clouds in the water. Tour buses don't stop here, the Wi-Fi is slow, and no one really cares, because Giethoorn isn't about connection to the world, it's about reconnecting with yourself. At night, when lanterns light up the canals and the water turns to glass, the village disappears into a fairy tale. And for a few quiet hours, you realise the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more Giethoorns. Gásadalur, Faroe Islands. At the edge of the world, where cliffs fall into the ocean and the clouds touch the sea, there's a place barely anyone knows about. This is Gásadalur. Tucked away in the Faroe Islands, this tiny village was once so remote that the only way to reach it was by hiking over a mountain. Just imagine that. No roads, no cars, just wind, silence, and endless green. With only a handful of people living here, Gásadalur doesn't feel like a village. It feels like a dream you walk into. There are more sheep than humans, the wind speaks more than people do, and the waterfall, Múlafossur, looks like it was poured from the sky straight into the Atlantic. There are no souvenir shops, no Instagram hotspots, no queues, just raw nature, and the people who learn to live with it. In winter, the fog wraps the village like a secret. In summer, wildflowers bloom like a forgotten fairy tale. And no matter when you go, it always feels like you're the only one there. Gásadalur is not a destination. It's a reminder that the most beautiful places in the world don't want to be seen by everyone, just the ones who still know how to listen. Shirakawa-go, Japan. In the heart of the Japanese Alps, where winters are harsh and silence is sacred, lies a village that looks like it was built for a fairy tale. This is Shirakawa-go, a place where the roofs are steep, the snow falls thick, and time has learned to stand still. The houses here are called Gashozukuri, meaning hands in prayer. Thatched rooftops so steep they pierce the sky, built to survive heavy snow for centuries. No neon lights, no highways, no crowds spilling out of bullet trains. Just wooden homes glowing with warm lantern light, surrounded by mountains and forests that have watched over this village for hundreds of years. In the winter, Shirakawa-go becomes a snow-covered dream. The whole village lights up like a postcard. But it's not for tourists. It's for the people who still live the old way. They farm, they gather, they pray, and they smile when strangers arrive, not for selfies, but to understand a life lived slowly. Even now, when the world is louder than ever, Shirakawa-go whispers. It tells you beauty doesn't shout, it just waits. And if you listen carefully, you'll hear the snow falling, one soft moment at a time. Popeye Village, Malta. On a quiet coast of Malta, hidden beneath limestone cliffs and surrounded by sapphire water, is a village frozen in time. This is Popeye Village. It was never supposed to be real. Built in 1979 as a film set for the Popeye movie, the colourful wooden houses were meant to be temporary. But the sea, the sky, and something unexplainable made it stay. Decades later, this movie set turned into a living, breathing village. But strangely, it never got loud. There are no crowds pouring in, no tour buses waiting outside. Just wooden homes painted in pastel blues and reds, crooked docks, narrow walkways, and the sound of waves gently hitting the shore. Everything here feels cartoonish, but also oddly peaceful, like a childhood dream that didn't fade away. It just got quiet. The wind still rushes through open shutters. The sun still lights every rooftop in golden tones. And if you visit early enough, you might be the only person there. Popeye Village is a reminder that imagination can build worlds. And sometimes, those worlds survive even after the cameras stop rolling. This isn't just a hidden spot. It's a forgotten fantasy, still waiting to be explored. With no tourists, no noise, just colour, sea, and silence. Bibury, England. If you ever wanted to walk inside a painting, come to Bibury. Nestled in the green hills of the English Cotswolds, this tiny village looks like it was built for postcards, and then forgotten by time. Stone cottages sit in perfect rows, their rooftops dusted with moss and their windows filled with ivy and light. Arlington Row, the most famous street here, isn't just pretty. It's quiet, no tourist noise, no bus tours, just the gentle sound of a nearby river and birds in the morning fog. Everything in Bibury is soft, the light, the colours, even the air feels slower. You'll find no skyscrapers, no Wi-Fi cafes, just little footbridges, a medieval church, and the scent of old stone and wildflowers. The villagers here aren't in a hurry. They still greet you with a nod, they still plant flowers outside their windows, and they still believe in quiet mornings and slow tea. Bibury doesn't chase modernity, it protects peace. And in a world full of chaos and noise, Bibury whispers something powerful. You don't need to be big to be unforgettable. You just need to be real. Hallstatt, Austria. Tucked between a glassy lake and towering mountains, lies a village that looks almost unreal. This is Hallstatt, Austria's hidden jewel. You may have seen it in pictures, but very few have truly felt this place. Because Hallstatt reveals itself when the world is asleep. When the sun rises over the Dachstein Alps and the lake turns silver, this village becomes something ancient and eternal. Wooden chalets cling to the hillside, their reflections dancing on the water below. Narrow alleys twist between centuries-old homes, and church bells echo across the stillness. Tourists come and go, but if you stay long enough, if you walk just beyond the popular spots, you'll find the soul of Hallstatt. A fisherman rowing in silence, a quiet boat tied to a misty dock, an old woman placing flowers on her balcony as she's done every morning for 40 years. No noise, no rush, just the rhythm of nature and tradition. Even in the peak of winter, when snow falls thick and the lake freezes at the edges, Hallstatt glows from within. It's not just beautiful, it's sacred. Because some places aren't made for crowds. They're made for those willing to listen and to feel. And Hallstatt, it doesn't scream for attention. It simply exists, like a secret kept by the mountains and the water. Oia, Greece. Perched on the cliffs of Santorini, Oia is a village painted with sunlight. Whitewashed homes spill down the rocky hillside, each one with a blue dome shining under the Aegean sky. But what makes Oia special isn't just its postcard beauty, it's the silence that lingers when the crowds are gone. In the early morning, before the shops open, you can walk the narrow paths alone, with only the sound of the sea wind and distant waves below. Old wooden doors, crumbling stone steps, and balconies filled with bougainvillea. Everything feels still, like the village is holding its breath. From the edge of the cliffs, you can see the caldera stretch endlessly across the water. It feels like the end of the world, or maybe the beginning of something timeless. Sunsets here are famous, but it's the quiet moments, the golden light on empty stairs, the soft glow of lanterns at dusk, that stay with you. Oia isn't just a village. It's a dream in slow motion, where beauty lives in silence, and peace waits for those who don't rush. Český Krumlov, Czech Republic. Hidden in the heart of the Czech Republic, Český Krumlov feels like a fairy tale that no one finished reading. The streets curve like a storybook map, lined with red-roofed houses and stone archways, wrapped gently by the slow bend of the Vltava River. Its castle towers above everything, not just as a landmark, but as a quiet reminder of centuries gone by. In the early morning, before footsteps echo on the cobblestones, the entire town feels like it's paused, waiting. Shadows stretch across quiet squares. Old wooden signs hang above closed cafes. And from the castle bridge, you can hear the town breathe. There are no horns, no flashing lights, just soft footsteps, and the sound of the river below. You don't need a map here, just wander, because every alley leads to something beautiful, a hand-painted wall, a tiny bookshop, or a view that feels stolen from a dream. Český Krumlov doesn't need to impress you. It only needs you to slow down and let the magic sink in. Manarola, Italy. Clinging to the cliffs of the Italian Riviera, Manarola is like a splash of colour frozen in time. Pastel houses stacked tight, each one catching the light a little differently. Pink, yellow, blue, overlooking the endless Ligurian Sea. But behind the colours, Manarola moves slow, slower than time itself. Fishermen mend their nets at dawn. Elderly women water vines draped across tiny balconies. And the smell of sea salt mixes with fresh bread from a corner oven. There are no cars, no highways, just narrow paths, stone steps, and ancient rock carved by human hands centuries ago. As you walk up through the vineyards, you start to hear less and see more. The ocean below sparkles like glass, and the village behind you looks like it was painted by a quiet genius. Even when the tourists arrive, there are corners where no one goes, a hidden bench, a crumbling stairway, a silence that belongs only to those who wait for it. Manarola doesn't chase attention, it just exists, soft, colourful, and eternal, where land meets sea and time stands still. Èze, France. High above the French Riviera, perched on a rocky cliff between Nice and Monaco, lies the medieval village of Èze, quiet, ancient, and impossibly beautiful. Its stone pathways twist like a maze through time. Every corner is framed with ivy-covered walls, rusted lanterns, and archways that whisper history. This isn't the France of Paris cafes or crowded beaches. This is older, quieter, almost sacred. At sunrise, the light crawls gently over the hills, touching the terracotta rooftops and spilling into tiny courtyards. The Mediterranean sparkles far below, but up here, you feel like you're floating above it all. You can't drive through ease. You walk, slowly, past flower shops that smell like lavender, past fountains trickling in silence, past doors that haven't opened in decades, and at the very top, a secret garden. Cactus, wildflowers, and ancient stone walls, all overlooking one of the most breathtaking sea views in Europe. There's no rush here, no schedules, no noise, just the sound of the wind and your own footsteps on thousand-year-old stones. Èze isn't just a village, it's a moment, frozen in sunlight, waiting for those who still know how to slow down. Bled, Slovenia. In the heart of Slovenia, surrounded by mountains and forests, there's a place that looks like it came out of a dream. This is Bled, a village built around a lake so still it mirrors the sky. Right in the center, an island with a tiny church reached only by boat. No roads, no engines, just the gentle sound of paddles cutting through glassy water. The mornings here are wrapped in mist, and as the sun rises, it peels away the clouds, revealing the lake, the castle on the cliff, and a world untouched. You can walk the edge of the lake in silence, hear the leaves rustle, watch swans glide, and feel the kind of peace that's hard to describe. Up on the hill, Bled Castle stands guard, its stone walls worn smooth by time. From there, you see everything, but hear nothing. Even in winter, when the lake freezes and snow falls gently over rooftops, Bled feels like it's holding on to something, a purity that hasn't been lost. No noise, no rush, just water, sky, and silence. Bled isn't just a village, it's a deep breath in a world that rarely pauses. Kotor, Montenegro. Tucked deep inside a bay that cuts into the mountains like a secret, Kotor is a village that feels hidden from the world. Its old town is wrapped in stone walls, its streets so narrow you could walk the whole place in silence without ever being seen. Cobblestones echo with the past. Medieval churches, carved facades, iron balconies, all untouched by time. The Bay of Kotor reflects everything. The sky, the cliffs, and the quiet rhythm of life here. Early mornings are magical. When fog drifts across the water and the town wakes slowly, you feel like you've stepped into a forgotten world. Climb the fortress steps, all 1,350 of them, and the entire bay unfolds beneath you. Still, blue, endless. A scene so beautiful, you almost stop breathing. No tourist crowd can truly capture what Kotor is, because the real beauty isn't just in what you see, but in what you feel when everything goes quiet. It's in the church bells echoing off the mountains, in the old man sipping coffee outside a crumbling stone home, in the wind brushing through ancient alleyways. Kotor isn't loud. It doesn't try to impress. It simply exists, beautiful, calm, and timeless, for those willing to listen. Wengen, Switzerland. High up in the Swiss Alps, where the clouds touch the peaks and silence feels sacred, sits the car-free village of Wengen. There are no highways here, no traffic, just alpine air, the sound of cowbells in the distance, and views that don't feel real. Wooden chalets with flower boxes, green meadows stretching under snow-capped giants, and a train station that feels like it leads to another world. Every step in Wengen feels light. The air is crisp, the sky unbelievably blue, and everywhere you turn, the mountains watch you in quiet stillness. You don't rush in Wengen. You walk, you breathe, you look. Morning fog rolls gently over the cliffs while the sun slowly warms the rooftops. It's not just beautiful, it's peaceful in a way that makes you forget everything else. Evenings are quiet, lights twinkle in windows, and the only sounds are the wind and the soft hum of nature. There are no crowds shouting for photos, no chaos, just you, the mountains, and the silence between heartbeats. Wengen isn't just a village in Switzerland. It's a place that feels like it was made for those who still believe that the most beautiful moments are the quiet ones. Albarracín, Spain. Tucked away in the rugged hills of eastern Spain, Albarracín looks like it was carved from the earth itself. Red sandstone walls, narrow alleys, and ancient towers rising above a valley that time forgot. As you enter the village, it doesn't welcome you with noise. It surrounds you with silence. The streets twist and climb, lined with crooked wooden balconies and faded doors. You don't know where you're going, and somehow, that's the beauty of it. There are no tourist crowds, no bright signs, just the soft crunch of your footsteps and the feeling that this place hasn't changed in centuries. Climb to the top of the fortress walls, and you'll see rooftops flowing like a red river below. Beyond that, endless hills, untouched and wild. The light here is different. It paints the village golden at dusk, casting long shadows that stretch across the cobblestones like ghosts of the past. Albarracín doesn't ask for attention. It whispers its story, patiently, to anyone who takes the time to listen. It's not just a hidden gem. It's a place that teaches you to slow down and feel history in your bones. And maybe that's the magic. In a world chasing crowds and noise, these hidden villages remind us what it feels like to slow down, to breathe, to just be. Not every journey needs to be loud. Sometimes the most unforgettable places are the ones no one talks about. Which village felt like home to you? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love quiet corners of the world like this, don't forget to subscribe for more peaceful escapes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next hidden story.